Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead. How are you? It's good to see you. I'm about 7 minutes behind schedule, and you know how that goes. The show must go on. I want to thank you for being here. Today, we're going to tell you a story about two wonderful animals. Barnaby, the scruffy terrier, and Seraphina, the Siamese cat. They found themselves separately in a town called Pawsburg. Appropriate, since they both have paws. Anyway. Okay, so in this bustling city of Pawsburg, amidst towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, lived a small, scruffy terrier named Barnaby. Now, how could you not just fall in love with Barnaby? And a sleek, elegant Siamese cat named Seraphina. By the way, that's a great name for a cat. Barnaby was a streetwise stray, always scavenging for his next meal, while Seraphina had once been a pampered house cat. So the scenario here, we're seeing that Barnaby is kind of used to what's happening in this Pawsville, and Seraphina is like, I'm lost. So it's like with any of us. If we're go astray, we're lost, we'd love just to find somebody that we can be friends with and that we can help each other. So that's what we're going to have here. The now lost, and so Seraphina, as I said, was a pampered house cat. She's now lost and alone in the unfamiliar urban jungle. Personally, I think for the sake of animals, they should never be in cities, unless, of course, they're domestic inside somebody's home. But let's face it, in a city, especially a large city like Pawsville, you got to be careful. Anyway, their paths crossed one rainy evening in a narrow alleyway. Barnaby, shivering and soaked to the bone, had managed to find a meager scrap of bread. As he was about to devour it, Seraphina emerged from the shadows, her sapphire blue eyes wide with hunger. Now, Barnaby, God bless him, despite his own desperate state, felt a pang of sympathy for the delicate cat. He hesitated for a moment, but then nudged half of the bread towards her. Now, I know most of you would 100% help another person. So here we are, two animals in a very big city called Pawsburg, and they share their food, which is pretty cool. Seraphina, surprised by the unexpected kindness, cautiously approached the terrier and nibbled on the offering. So they're both enjoying a little bit of food and company together. By the way, I love telling stories like this. It was the first food she had eaten in days, and she relished every tiny morsel. From that moment on, an unlikely bond formed between the two animals. They became inseparable, navigating the treacherous city streets together. Barnaby, with his street smarts, knew where to find the best scraps of food and the safest places to sleep. Seraphina, with her agility and keen senses, could spot danger from afar and often alerted Barnaby to potential threats. One day, they stumbled upon an abandoned building, crumbling relic of the city's past. It offered a shelter from the harsh elements, but it was also the home to a pack of feral dogs notorious for their aggression. Barnaby and Seraphina knew they had to be cautious. As they explored the new refuge, they discovered a hidden corner that seemed relatively safe. As you see, they settled in, huddling together for warmth and comfort. But their peace was short-lived. Thank you for the comment. The feral dogs had caught their scent. The pack descended upon them, their menacing growls echoing through the abandoned building. Now, Barnaby, though small, stood his ground, barking fiercely to protect Seraphina. I mean, they're buds. And I know we as humans, besides marriage and what have you, but we also have good friends, and we have friends that we would take care of. And in this case, Barnaby and Seraphina are inseparable at this point in time. Seraphina, her back arched and claws extended, hissed and spat, a formidable force despite her elegant appearance. You know, it's where, Barnaby saved her life, really, because Barnaby was used to some of these things. She was not. She was pampered and in a home, and now she's like in the middle of nowhere in a city that she doesn't know, and luckily she found Barnaby, or Barnaby found her. But they were outnumbered. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Barnaby remembered a narrow passage he had discovered earlier. With a quick bark, he signaled Seraphina, and they darted into the passage, the feral dogs hot on their heels. The passage twisted and turned, a labyrinth of crumbling walls and debris. Barnaby, with his small size, navigated it with ease. Seraphina close behind, and there you see them. They're together. And obviously, safety is in numbers. It's like any of us. If we're by ourselves in a bad situation or we're with somebody helping us, we would, in most cases, feel better. The feral dogs, larger and less agile, struggled to keep up. Finally, Barnaby and Seraphina emerged on the other side, leaving the frustrated pack behind. They had survived, not just because of their individual skills, but because of their unwavering loyalty and cooperation. Barnaby, the scrappy terrier, And the elegant Siamese had become each other's lifeline in this unforgiving city. They found a new home in a quiet corner of the city, far from the dangers of the feral dogs, and their bond only grew stronger with each passing day. Their story became a legend in Pawsburg, a testament to the power of friendship and the indomitable spirit of two animals who had overcome diversity together. So there you see them. And I know in life we all want to have our friends with us. And animals do so wonderful. They have what I consider a layer of, generally speaking, kindness and caring. And this is a hard life for them. But they were smart enough, especially with Barnaby's know-how of the city, places to go, places to hide, that they could be together. And here we are watching them happy, and we know, because they have each other, that they're going to have a good future. Anyway, I want to thank you. And you know, these presentations make me so happy. And let's face it, we have a very interesting world. A lot of good things, a lot of things that are not so good. But animals, in my opinion, balance the sad part of life at times. You know, as I've mentioned in my presentations, we have Jamie. She's an 11-year-old Shih Tzu. And I would be lost without her. And, you know, we pray every day that she's going to be okay. And, you know, she's 11 years old. And unfortunately, dogs don't live, or in cats. Cats live longer most of the time, but they don't live long enough. And they bring so much happiness to the world that it'd be great if they could live longer. And we're hoping someday that will be true. But I want to thank you. You know, I really appreciate you being here and giving me some likes, because I do these the best I can, and always feel that having a good link to animals and loving animals is one very positive in anybody's life. So, thank you, and I hope I'll see you again. Take care and be well.